Hello, everyone, and welcome to a game called Another Romance Story. This is a heartfelt visual novel about two strangers going on a luxury romantic getaway and potentially falling in love, I suppose. Let's go ahead and start. There are 3 endings. We're gonna find all 3 of them. 16k words. I'm super excited. This is made by the same person who made Let's Meet Tomorrow, Dreamedy. Thank goodness the delivery guy dropped the package in front of the right apartment this time. The cardboard box was lighter than it looked. I adjusted my grip, balancing it against my hip as I nudged the apartment door open with my foot. I glanced down at the label again, just to be sure it was the right item. The name printed on it was unmistakably mine. My first name on the package was Mew. Well, it was written Mew, right? Yes, it was right. I'm surprised she didn't misspell my name. It's only 3 letters. Aurora. Nothing. I wait a second and raise my voice. Aurora, the cables are here! Silence. Not even the faint sound of footsteps, nor a door opening could be heard. Just the low hum of the fridge from the kitchen. Unbelievable. Her shoes are misplaced in the hallway, and she didn't even take out the damn package! I shifted the box in my arms, irritation creeping up my spine. You know, it'd be really nice if you answered when I called you. I live here too. I know the walls are thin as hell. Still nothing. I let out a sharp breath, my patience snapping. Of course she's ignoring me. Again. Just like she ignores the dishes, the trash, and the fact that we share this apartment. I dropped the box on the floor with more force than necessary. When I finally saved enough to move into a collocation, I had this whole picture in my head. Late night talks in the kitchen, movie nights, becoming friends without even trying. Hell, what were those personality tests for? I thought I would be placed with another me. Instead I got Aurora. Cold and rude, always acting like I was an inconvenience just for existing in the same space. At this point, it feels easier to pretend she doesn't exist than to keep trying to reason with her, which is not what I expected at all. I took my shoes off and placed hers neatly against the wall. Come on, Mew. Let's not waste our time and deal with it as fast as possible so I can go get groceries quickly. Package back in hand, I walked to her door. Let's just knock normally. I waited a minute, then another one. I knocked again, even louder this time. Aurora, come pick the cables. You're the one fixing it. There was movement inside, footsteps, dragged ones. The door finally opened, just enough for her face to appear. Aurora was still in her work clothes, hair slightly undone compared to this morning. No headphones, no phone in sight. So she'd heard me this whole time, huh? What? Package is here. It's the new cables. For the living room, TV, and your Wi-Fi. She glanced past me before realizing I was holding the package. Okay, thanks. She paused, already halfway done with the conversation. I'll fix the TV before I go back to work. Wow, a full sentence. I'm honored. I tilted my head, unable to stop myself. Before work? Shouldn't you already be gone by now? I have extra hours tonight. I came back on a short break, so if you don't mind, I'd like to actually rest for 5 minutes. She met my eyes, and gazed sharp but tired. Leave the cables on the sofa. And with that, she closed the door. No, I think she's just tired. I stood there for a moment, staring at the wood, the muffled sounds of the apartment settling around me. It could have gone worse. I dropped the cardboard box on the sofa, as indicated, and made my way to the kitchen. One would have thought that post-it communication could have been fun, but Aurora leaves so many of them, it becomes a mess of paper instead of anything useful. I checked my part of the fridge and made a mental note of what to buy for dinner. Gnocchi and spinach will do. And like that, I was already back out. With the warmth and familiar smell of shelves packed too tight, and a strong smell of cheap detergent, my shoulders loosened a little. It's sad that now being out of the house brings me such comfort. Every time I don't want to deal with Aurora anymore, I just go out. For groceries, dinner, activities. My finances were not happy with this new way of coping. Okay, new rule. If I'm serious about moving out someday, I should probably stop buying snacks like I'll live here forever. I still grabbed a bag of chips while saying that. Baby steps. I wandered the aisles without much thought, tossing a few essentials into my basket. Nothing fancy, nothing unnecessary, mostly. Let's just be honest with myself. I had a spending addiction. For someone just here for tonight's dinner groceries, I had enough food for a week now. By the time I reached the checkout, the store was rather empty. It didn't stop me from going to the self-checkouts instead of the regular one despite the small line. Standing patiently, I sighed, looking at the travel voucher exposed near the boards. No vacations this year. God, that's depressing. I should really just save on food rather than cut my vacation budget like that. When it was finally my turn, I started to head towards a free machine before getting stopped by an employee. Cash or card? Card. Then let me redirect you to another checkout. Oh, okay. So I waited in line for nothing? Dang it. I moved to the one he pointed out and dropped my groceries at the register. The cashier scanned my articles one by one, the price climbing slowly but surely. Cash or card? Card. I reached for my bag to take off my card, when suddenly the screen suddenly lit up. I flinched. Did I break something? I froze, half expecting alarms to start blaring, employees rushing over to escort me out. The cashier blinked confused at the screen, then smiled when they understood the situation. You won! I raised an eyebrow. Won what? Looks like it's a weekend organized by one of those vacation deal groups. How? After a certain amount spent, there's a random prize draw. I stare at them in disbelief. Wait, people actually win in this kind of stuff? The cashier looked just as surprised as I felt, and let out a short laugh. Apparently, you're the first one I ever witnessed, so congratulations. They tapped a few buttons on the register. The machine whirred, then sped out a long receipt that looked way too important for the junks I just bought. These are the instructions to redeem the prize. They handed it to me along with my bag. Have a good day and congrats again. I took the receipt, still a little stunned. Thanks, I guess. I stepped away from the counter, staring down at the printed instructions, like they might disappear in between blinks. Wow. Maybe I should stop making fun of lottery tickets. I paused near the exit, clutching the receipt a little tighter. Or buy one. Okay, this is actually happening. My laptop sat on the kitchen table. I turned on the stove to boil water. I had barely sat down before my fingers hovered over the keyboard, heart still racing from the surreal win. The redemption site loaded slowly. When the page finally appeared, it all looked official enough to make me euphoric. No way, this is really real? Heck yeah! Vacation! I am doing more manifestations in the future. I stared at the page, scrolling through the prize details. My mind kept tripping over the absurdity of it. Me, only me, winning something completely random out of the thousands of purchases. Blessed be my chips. I shall not cut my snack budget for now. Every deal on the site was laid out in neat little boxes, each with pictures and descriptions. Some were vacations, some were activity packages, some seemed like one-off experiences. Scrolling down, I quickly realized that most of the options involved plane trips. Yeah, not happening. I can't exactly fly somewhere on a whim, or at all. The economy is bad. Gotta keep it something I can reach by train, bus, or car. That left a few realistic possibilities. A forest retreat with hiking and activities in nature, or a weekend couple package at a nearby resort. My eyes lingered on the resort option. It sounded indulgent. Spa treatments, warm baths, maybe even little gourmet food. Far more tempting than mud and mosquitoes. Food and massage. But then the thought struck me like a punch to the gut. It was a couples package for two! Well, the joy of winning collided instantly with the awkward reality of having no one to go with. I tapped my fingers on the table, staring at the screen as if sheer willpower could make someone appear next to me. I'm back. Ah, it's this late already? I should stop here for tonight. Part of me wanted to close the page and pretend I hadn't won anything, just to avoid the inevitable awkwardness of solitude. Another part, the self-indulgent part, wanted to figure out a way to go anyway. But with whom? My gaze drifted towards the living room, Aurora falling into the couch like a lifeless zombie. The thought made me frown. Normally I wouldn't even consider asking her. She was complicated, but maybe this could be the sort of ridiculous, spontaneous thing that could work. Yeah, no, let's not get ahead of ourselves. I stood up to go put my ganuccias in the pot of hot water I prepared, while Aurora stepped in the room. You went grocery shopping? Yeah. How much I owe you for the fish? The fish? You forgot about the fish? When did we talk about that? I left a post-it note on the fridge saying that I would be too busy for, you know what? Forget it. I watched her as she took some leftover rice from the fridge and reheated it in the microwave. I felt a bit bad. I'm playing the graceful route, so I'll check the post-it note next time. It's super messy, but I'll try. I turned back to the stove to keep myself busy with cooking my dinner, stirring my dish with a bit more force than necessary. The microwave made an awkward melody between us. I didn't know you had a partner. I froze. What? I turned my head slowly, half expecting to find her already halfway back in her room or talking on the phone. Aurora was standing in the kitchen doorway, bowl of rice in hand, her gaze not on me, but on the laptop still open on the counter. Oh, you're talking to me? No, I don't. I followed her line of sight and felt heat rush to my face with embarrassment. Can you, stop looking at my screen? Sorry, I was just curious. I rubbed the back of my neck, suddenly very aware of how incriminating the words "couples weekend" looked on the page. Something unexpected happened today. I hesitated, then sighed. Damn, it was weird to talk to her. I won something at the grocery store. Aurora blinked. Wait, people actually win in this kind of stuff? It's so shocking, right? That's exactly what I said. I let out a small, nervous laugh, gesturing vaguely at the laptop. Apparently, if you spend enough, you get a random prize, and today was my lucky day, I guess. Aurora stepped a little closer, curiosity replacing her usual guarded expression. So that's why you're looking at a couple thing. Yeah, unusual scenario, but I am sadly still very single. Since she approached the laptop, I scroll a bit, showing her the options. Most of the good ones are for two people. The only one that actually seems worthy was this couple's weekend activity. You should go with a friend. I don't think they'll ask you to prove your love with a French kiss at the lounge. I thought about it. I drained the water from my dish, eyes fixed on the food as if it might save me from the awkwardness. All my friends are in relationships, though. Going on a romantic weekend with one of them would be, weird for everyone involved. You could ask someone on a dating app, maybe. Could make a big first date. I don't really use dating apps, to be honest. Also, I think it would make things even more weird for a first meeting. I glanced at her briefly. And what if they turn out to be a creep? So yeah, that's kind of where I'm stuck. The kitchen felt quiet again, and my previous idea came back to me. Today has been my lucky day. Who knows, maybe this could work. Yeah, I'm asking her. This is my graceful run. Ask her to go, hey. My voice came out softer than I expected. I hesitated, fingers tightening slightly around the wooden spoon before I forced myself to look at her. Aurora, this is going to sound weird, but... Sorry if it comes out of nowhere, by the way. Would you want to go with me? For the couple trip, I mean? The options are nice. They have a spa and we can take my car and go. The words hung in the air in a very unpleasant tension. I was bracing myself for the worst reaction. I waited for it, an immediate no, an awkward laugh, or an eye roll, something sharp to shut the idea down. But it didn't come. Aurora didn't answer right away. She stayed where she was, eyes drifting back to the laptop screen, then to the floor, then somewhere in between. She looked thoughtfully, genuinely so. The silence stretched. You don't have to say yes, really. I rushed the words out, anxiety creeping up my neck. I'm not asking out of pity or anything. It's okay if you don't want to. I won't be offended, I swear. I would be like, yes, I want to go. That sounds awesome. Free getaway. I need it. Give it to me. Take me with you, please. Aurora finally looked at me. I wouldn't say yes out of pity. That's not really my thing. I nodded quickly. Yeah, of course. But she glanced back at the screen again. It does seem nice. My heart skipped a bit. Just a little. And honestly, it might actually help. Help? She shifted her weight, arms crossing loosely over her chest, bowl still in one hand. Yeah, I've been kind of stuck lately. There was a pause. Stuck on my ex. I blinked, caught off guard. Oh, I didn't know. I hesitated. We were really going very deep very fast. Was this really my roommate? Is that too personal? You don't have to tell me. Aurora slightly shook her head. I don't really want to go into details, for obvious reasons. She exhaled slowly. But the short version is, I got ghosted. The word landed quietly, but heavily. Oh. No explanation. No closure. She just blocked me off her life, and for a second it felt like she was about to start crying. I've been kind of depressed since then. Sorry, I shouldn't have talked about it. No, it's okay. It's fine. It didn't sound fine. Anyway, she straightened up, forcing a lighter tone. A good weekend could be a good way to finally move on. Also, I'm not refusing a spa day. She glanced at me again, briefly. Sorry, I didn't mean to kill the mood. You didn't? I meant it. Aurora stepped back towards her room, hand already on the door handle. If the invite still stands, she paused, just tell me when it is. I'll adapt my schedule. And if you find someone better, tell me. It's your winning prize, after all. Good night. And then she disappeared into her room, the door closing softly behind her. I stood there for a moment, staring at the spot where she'd just been. I turned back to my food, heart beating a little faster than before. Did I just accidentally asked my roommate on a date? Not by accident, I made you do it. I don't know how she took it, but from the conversation we just had, it seemed like one. I think. I feel too shy to ask. We'll see after dinner. I haven't eaten yet. The resort lounge stood in front of me. All glass panels, warm lights, and carefully arranged plants that screamed romantic getaway. I tightened my grip on the handle of my small suitcase, shifting my weight from one foot to the other. Okay, breathe, Mew. The air smelled faintly of flowers and expensive soap. Somewhere inside, soft music played. It was slow, calm, and intimate. Too intimate. I haven't dared step inside the lounge myself. Everything here screamed, I have money, and I have a loving, long-lasting relationship. Two things I clearly didn't have. I checked my phone. No new messages. When I booked the date and sent Aurora the details, things had fizzled out. There were no arguments or tension the following week. Worse, almost complete silence. What did I expect? We barely talked after that. A few logistical messages, short replies, but nothing more. I had suggested we drive here together. It would have been a great start, and we're leaving from the same place after all. But work on the way, extra hours, late shifts. So Aurora was taking a cab a bit later than me. Gosh, this was a bad idea. I glanced around the lounge entrance, my anxiety spiking. Everywhere I looked, couples were clustered together, older couples mostly. I mean, forks found in the kitchen. Of course, this place would be full of old couples. A woman leaned her head on her partner's shoulder. Someone else adjusted their spouse's scarf with practiced tenderness. Practiced tenderness. I had to snap my head out of the voyeurism when two ladies started to tenderly kiss. Goodness. It's way, way worse than I thought. My ears felt warm. It's far more romantic than I anticipated. I had imagined something more neutral. Sure, it's a romantic getaway, but I would have assumed people had more, bashfulness. I felt painfully aware of myself, my clothes, my posture, or simply the fact that I was very obviously alone. People must definitely think I got stood up. No worse, people wouldn't care that I got stood up, because they were having a romantic getaway. I looked down at my suitcase and back at the entrance. Maybe I should have picked the forest thing. No! Maybe I could just drive my car back home. No! But my +1 is my roommate, so it was not an option. What if this makes things worse between us? What if she regrets saying yes? What if she actually shows up with her ex? Well, then, they would get kicked out because it's for 2 people. I checked my phone again. Still nothing. The automatic door slid open as another couple walked in, laughing softly, completely at ease. I stepped slightly to the side, out of their way, heart thudding. Okay, it's fine. She said yes. She's coming. I repeatedly told myself that, again and again. But here I was, standing alone, surrounded by the romantic air I hadn't signed up for. Yes, you did sign up for it! Waiting for my roommate who barely spoke to me anymore. Okay, yes, I did sign up for it. It was in the title. That's what I said. I wasn't sure if I felt excited or terrified. Gosh, what did I... Mew! The cab had stopped near the entrance. The door opened, and there she was. Aurora stepped out with a small suitcase in one hand and a bouquet of flowers in another. I froze. It's happening! Why am I surprised that she's actually here? What the hell? You're here! As she walked over, a smile flickered across her face, hesitant but real. Aurora stopped a little too far away, as if she wasn't sure what distance would be appropriate. Hey! She lifted her phone slightly, frowning at the screen. Sorry if it looks like I was standing you up. I was texting you, like during the whole ride. There's no service out here. I was scared you'd think I bailed out or that I was late. My brain short-circuited. Oh, no, it's fine. I mean, I just got here. A lie. A terrible one. I had absolutely been standing there for a while. Aurora visibly relaxed. Oh, good. Glad we arrived at the same time. Yeah, totally. I just arrived, like, just now. Totally. I gestured vaguely behind me, as if that proved anything. Then my eyes drifted back to the flowers. They looked expensive. I don't know much about flowers, but this seems like a big deal. My heart did a weird little flip. Are those for me? No, they're for the receptionist. I felt my soul leave my body for half a second. She laughed softly and held them out to me. I'm kidding. Yeah, it would be for no one else but you. She placed the bouquet in my hands before I could react. You invited me. It seemed fair to at least get you something nice. I stared at the flowers, then at her. My face definitely felt warm. And I was definitely feeling not so platonic things. I am so easy to bag, what the hell? You didn't have to. Thank you, I really like the flowers. They're gorgeous. I tightened my grip around the stems, forcing myself to breathe. That's really nice of you. Aurora shrugged, but there was something careful in the gesture. It felt right, but I'm really glad I got something you like. I nodded, taking a second to compose myself. I was getting worked up way too easily. Stress might have made me more nervous than I anticipated, so now it was time to relax. I smiled appreciatively at Aurora. Up close, something about her felt different. I couldn't put my finger on it, but I noticed. Maybe she just looked more relaxed. Anyway, we should probably check in. I gestured towards the entrance, suddenly very aware the couple's around us again. Shall we go inside? Before they think I'm loitering? Aurora glanced around, then back at me. Yeah, good idea. She adjusted her grip on her suitcase. For a brief second we stood there together, side by side, and I almost expected her to hold my hand. It was strange. We weren't just roommates. But not quite It was strange. We weren't just roommates, but not quite dates either. Not quite dates either. Okay? The receptionist's smile was still etched somewhere in my mind as we stepped away from the counter. She was either very happy to see everyone so in love or extremely miserable in her job. No in between. It was the quickest I've ever got checked in with no worry for my bank account. 2 key cards. Same room number. This still felt unreal. Aurora slipped one of the cards into her pocket, while I stared at mine a second longer than necessary, as if it might vanish like my winning grocery ticket. A small victory chime playing in my head when we finally ditched our luggage at the bell service. I took a small bag of personal belongings just in case, but it was good to be so carefree now. Freedom. Once we were out of range from the desk, Aurora immediately pulled her phone back out. Sorry, I'm going to ask for the Wi-Fi password before I lose my mind. Okay, I'll wait here. I watched her walk back to the desk, shoulders tense. She'd probably catch the weird vibes from the receptionist too. I exhaled and collapsed into one of the oversized lounge beanbags. It swallowed me whole, and I got enveloped in a soft fabric and warm perfume. Everything smelled faintly of eucalyptus and something floral I couldn't name. Half sinking in the furniture, I picked up the brochure we'd been given at checkup in. Its paper was thick with gold accents. Everything kept reminding me how I could never afford to come in a place like this on a whim. My eyes skimmed over the schedule. Spa access, sauna, massages. Massages. My back needs that so bad. Let me see what else we could do. Dinner service starts early. Multiple courses, local ingredients. The buffet is included with the couple service? I imagine plates that were looking more like decoration than food. And then I imagined my bank account crying. Either option felt unreal. Luxurious. Like I had accidentally wandered into someone else's life for a weekend. I flipped the page back and forth, unable to commit. Decisions. Go to the spa first and risk being too relaxed to function? Or eat early and feel awkwardly overdressed and hyper-aware of everything? I sighed softly, folding the brochure in half. How about you just relax and take it easy and just, try to have some fun, girl. You're thinking too much. My steak is too juicy and my lobster is too buttery. Heck yeah, it is. The beanbag dipped suddenly. Aurora sat down next to me, very next to me. Her thigh brushed mine, and I could feel her hair caressing my shoulder. My heart absolutely betrayed me. She leaned back, sinking into the cushion with a long exhale. I got the Wi-Fi secured. I can now proceed to avoid my phone without remorse. She tilted her head towards me. What are we starting with? I glanced down at the brochure again, then back at her. Her face was closer than it was a few seconds before. I could smell her perfume. Wow, it was My brain did not cooperate. Pull it together, Mew. A pretty girl gives you flowers and you're head over heels? Get a grip! Very eloquent. I swallowed. There's a lot, you know. I held the brochure up between us like a shield. I narrowed it to 2 options. The best one. Spa this afternoon, or food early. I laughed nervously. Please don't find me lame! Both sound way fancier than anything I'm used to, so I wanted to give it a try. Aurora hummed, eyes scanning the page. Her shoulder brushed at mine again. Definitely intentional. Honestly, I'm fine with both. I have been invited for free, so I'll enjoy anything that isn't exercise. She glanced at me sideways. What do you want? My chest tightens at the question. The way she looked at me when she asked. She had such a beautiful green eyes. Come on, Mew. This is the last time I'm fumbling. Let's focus now. I don't know. I keep thinking I'll wake up and this will turn out to be a scam. Aurora snorted. If it is, at least it's a comfortable one. She nudged my arm lightly. We can start slowly if you want. No pressure in doing the most of it. We're here to relax, not get our money's worth for something we didn't pay for. You're right. I shouldn't start making my time at the resort stressful. Maybe spa first? So I can relax my nerves. Aurora smiled with sincerity. That sounds good. She leaned back, stretching her arms. Let's ease into pretending we're rich. I laughed. I think they could smell poverty even if we were wearing designer. I mean, I don't care if they believe I'm rich. I want to believe I'm rich for a day. Maybe it's not the best outfit to pretend to be rich in, but it's the mindset that counts, okay? Aurora, I am fully expecting you to start trying to sell me NFTs at this point. Don't take your rich roleplay too hard. Ew, no, I hate those things. Disgusting AI slops. We got up from the beanbag and after leaving our luggages at the check-in. Hey, we already mentioned leaving the luggages at the bellhop and now the check-in. We left the luggage somewhere twice, I just want to say. We made our way to the spa area, the conversation continuing on its light note. The massage room was dim when I stepped inside. The kind of dimness that immediately tells your body it's allowed to stop performing. Soft lights hidden behind fabric panels. I changed into my bathing suit. It was a good idea to have kept my personal bag. The air was warm, and I hadn't realized how tense I was until the table welcomed me. I lay down and stared at the floor for a moment. Then I closed my eyes. The first touch was almost startling, like someone had been mapping my muscles for years and finally decided to intervene. My thoughts tried to cling to something, anything, but slipped away one by one. If someone had told me this was the only activity here, I wouldn't have minded. When it ended, it felt almost rude. The hands withdrew, but the warmth lingered, and I laid there for a few seconds longer, trying to make sure it was still real. Just to make sure I was still real. Sitting up felt like waking up from the best nap of my life. My limbs were loose and heavier at the same time, but in a good way. With a lighter spirit, I walked out still in my bathing suit. I stepped into the hallway leading to the pools and jacuzzi, where the air was way cooler. It kissed my skin and made me shiver, reality gently reintroducing itself. I leaned against the wall, arms folded loosely, still floating. The massage had been so good I briefly considered skipping everything else and booking another one tomorrow, or staying in that room forever. But for now, I just waited. I rubbed my arms, hoping Aurora wouldn't take too long, but even the cold couldn't erase how relaxed I felt. I wanted to exchange with Aurora about it. I'm pretty sure if someone would share my joy right now, it would be her. Now that I've thought about it, when it happened, I was glad to be by myself. But a part of me was sort of hoping we weren't separated so early on in the experience. It happened fast, and for a very dumb reason, but I'm pretty sure that the simple gesture made my heart work overtime. It was a terrible situation now that I thought about it. Let's be realistic right now. She's getting over her ex, and we rarely interacted cordially before this. There's no way I could shoot my shot, even in a setting as romantic as this one. We're shooting who? No one! God and everyone above, please, I pray that she didn't hear me. I stare at her, in panic, hoping that somehow it could pass as me oogling her swimsuit. Wait, now that I thought of it, I actually started looking. I already thought she was pretty, but the sheer view of more skin made me feel fuzzy. That's when I realized that she was actually doing the same. Are we a duo of perverts? I don't think it's fair to call us perverts just for observing good-looking people. Oh, so you think I'm good-looking, huh? I mean, if you allow me to say... You've got my permission, of course you could say. You look so hot. I would woof whistle if I could. But I don't know how to whistle. Oh, you dog. That's the spirit. Frat boy catcall. Look, like, what's cooking good looking? This one was terrible. I stared at her for a silent second before we both started to laughing. Finally calming our laugh, I nudged her, trying to move the topic completely. So how was your massage? Heavenly. I think I started drooling at some point. What? Ew! I know, not sexy, but honestly, my shoulders needed it, and I have never felt more relaxed in my entire life. Glad to hear that, because same. I felt like I was leaving my body. We're twinning on this one. It was a really good experience. Sadly, we can't go back today, so let's see what else we can do. I don't really feel like going in the pool with a bunch of people, so what do we think about finding a jacuzzi for the both of us? Oh, sure, it seems nice. Okay, let's go search. Aurora extended her hand for me to hold, and I instinctively took it, grinning like an idiot. What a happy idiot I was. After almost slipping twice on the cold wet tiles, we saw a couple leave a jacuzzi spot hidden by a fake decorative plant. Aurora got in the water first, and from her blissful face, I assumed the water was good. Getting in, I immediately understood her reaction. The warmth of the water engulfed me, and once again, I felt like my soul was reaching another reality. Getting comfortable, I let myself float a bit before seating in a higher area to fully rest. I stayed like this carefully before checking out what Aurora was doing. I felt heat rush to my ears when I caught her looking at me with such a tender expression. Hey Mew? Yeah? Thank you for inviting me today. I'm having an amazing time, and it's thanks to you. Glad to hear. You really didn't have to. Yeah, but No, I mean seriously, it's so kind of you. I realize I haven't been the best roommate. It's really unfair that I get invited to cool things. I thought you were pulling my leg when you invited me. But no, you're just kind like that. You're always so kind to me. I know you always did your best. The truth is, I haven't been doing well, and instead of keeping that to me, I've been, mean and kind of angry to you. You didn't deserve this treatment. I felt like it was important for me to acknowledge that. Thank you again, Mew. You're a nice and very hot roommate. I'm sure next time you'll be able to come here with an amazing date. I was too stunned to speak. My crush had softened my feelings about our relationship, but hearing her apologize made me fall even harder. It was so simple, but it felt so nice. Just like when she gave me the flowers, or when our knees brushed, I was probably very easy to swoon, but Aurora was very charming to me. Trying to compose myself, I searched for a way to respond, but since I was probably taking too long, Aurora felt the need to add to her words. Sorry, maybe this isn't the right time. No, it's okay. I appreciate your apology. I was just caught off guard. And I mean, we had our differences, but you were never really mean. It was just a bit awkward. And I'm sorry for that. We'll start on better terms from now on. You're cool with that? Yeah. We're cool, but can we maybe change the subject? I don't know how to transition well from that discussion. Sure. Let's just enjoy the jacuzzi and get out before we turn into raisins. Sounds like a plan. The jets hummed strongly around us, a low, steady sound that blended with the distant echoes of water and muted voices from the rest of the spa. Steam curled lazily into the air, clinging to my hair and skin, wrapping everything in a soft haze. I leaned back, letting the warm water cradle me. My muscles, already loose from the massage, seemed to melt even further, like my body was slowly forgetting how to hold tension at all. Aurora rested across from me, elbows hooked on the edge of the jacuzzi, shoulders relaxed. Her eyes were half closed, lashes damp from the steam. For once, she looked completely at ease. Whoever said money can't buy happiness was lying. I think this might be the most relaxed I've been in years. Aurora let out a quiet laugh, barely louder than the bubbling water. Same. If real life felt like this more often, people would be kinder to each other. I feel like you're talking about yourself. What? Me? Yeah, definitely. I smiled, sinking a little lower so the water brushed my chin. The warmth seeped into my bones. My thoughts slowed, no longer racing ahead to what-ifs or awkward silences, just enjoying the moment. We didn't talk for a while, and it wasn't uncomfortable. The jets pulsed rhythmically against my back. My eyelids fluttered, closing for a second. I could hear Aurora's breathing, calm and steady, close enough to ground me. When I opened my eyes again, she was watching the steam rise, her expression soft. Not guarded, not distant. It was a nice change. I'm really glad we chose the spa first. Yeah, food after this is going to hit so hard. I laughed quietly. Everything's going to hit harder after this. She tilted her head towards me, a playful glint in her eyes. Careful, you're starting to sound like someone who might actually enjoy being rich. Only for the weekend. Then it's back to instant noodles and existential dread. Ah, yes, a balanced meal of sorrow and life crisis for the lower middle class. The water sloshed gently as she shipped it closer. She was now close enough that I could feel the heat from her skin through the steam. My heart did that annoying fluttering again. I rested my head back against the stone edge, staring up at the ceiling. Lights reflecting off the steam in soft halos. This place really was doing everything it could to feel romantic. And for once, I didn't feel the need to fight it. I could have stayed here forever. Maybe I could have tried to hold her hand, too, while I was at it. Let the world stay quiet. But eventually, the jets slowed, the heat, while comforting, started to feel heavy, and I knew our moment had come to an end. Okay, if we stay any longer, I think we might actually fuse with the jacuzzi. And then they'll charge us for damages. Exactly, we're too poor for that. She stood first, water cascading off her shoulders. I quickly looked away, respectfully. Definitely respectfully. I followed after her, grabbing a towel and wrapping it around myself. The cool air hit my skin, sharp but refreshing after the heat. Dinner? Aurora smiled, relaxed and visibly happy. You're paying? Of course, dear. I'll also have your lobster prepared how you like it. Thank you, Mew. You're a doll. The lounge felt different now. I mean, it was different. There were less people now that the morning had passed, making it easier to breathe. I sat back into the same beanbag from earlier, my hair still slightly damp despite the careful drying. The soft hum of conversation around us and clinking glasses blended into a low, comforting background noise. I checked the time on my phone. Oh wow, it's gotten pretty late. I genuinely didn't feel out like the hours passed. By the time we finished dinner, it would be best to just head to bed. The thought was nice. I glanced towards the hallway again. Aurora had gone to her room to drop off the used swimsuits and the towels. She said it would only take a minute. It took a few. I didn't mind, the beanbag was comfortable to wade in. I traced patterns into the fabric with my fingers, feeling unusually calm. How I would love being rich. Then, footsteps. I looked up, already sure who it could be. But I could never have been more wrong. An older woman with an elegant figure stopped near me and kindly saluted me. "Hello there, beautiful. Are you waiting for someone?" "Yeah, I'm with my Wait, no. Aurora is my roommate, but it would be so lame to say that. I'm waiting for my girlfriend. We're heading to the dining hall." "Oh, I see. I wanted to ask you if you wanted to join me and my partner for the night, but if you have plans, I won't insist. Have a great night with your lovebird." Yeah, you too." She waved me off, and as fast as she appeared, she disappeared out of view. What are these plans? Wait, did she just try to add me as a third? Well, sure was a compliment. I wouldn't have minded taking up that offer. That woman was beautiful. Plus, she's the second person to have complimented me today, after all. People think I'm hot. As Aurora reappeared, I happily waved her welcome. "So, how's the room?" "No idea." I blinked. "What do you mean, no idea?" "I didn't turn the light on. I just yeeted the bags inside and left." I snorted before I could stop myself. "You what? Why were you in such a rush? The dining hall doesn't close until late." Aurora looked almost embarrassed. "It's not because of the dining hall. I didn't want to make you wait." That caught me off guard. My laughter softened. "It's a 5-minute walk. You weren't making me wait." Still, she sat down next to me, this time keeping a small distance. I figured we should stick together. Everyone is in a pair. My heart did this stupid flutter yet again. I smiled, shaking my head. "Still, you could have taken your time, right?" "Yeah, but I didn't want to. I wanted to come back to you." The lounge light reflected softly in her eyes. For a moment, neither of us spoke. It felt intentional. I was getting signals, and I wasn't sure if they were intentional. I barely know her. Maybe she's just flirty with people? I mean, she doesn't seem like the type, and wait, am I even her type? I'm going way too fast. We could just be friends, and I feel like I'm interpreting things wrong. Snap back to reality, room. Oh, there goes gravity, Mew. And I'm falling. I stood up, picking up the dinner reservation I had left on the edge of the couch. "We should go. I'm starving. You're all good?" Aurora smiled, a little tired, but still warm. "Yeah." We headed towards the restaurant, side by side. This time, despite the lack of slippery floor, I offered my hand to Aurora, which she took. We were holding hands again. Yippee! The restaurant was even fancier than the lounge. I stopped walking the moment we reached an empty table somewhere in the middle. Aurora paused as well, eyes flickering from the candles to the polished cutlery. We are severely underdressed. I glanced down at my outfit. I thought this was nice casual. Apparently this is brunch at best. I don't think I can even consider that being at my best. Aurora pulled my chair out and then sat in hers, still scanning the room. I think half the people here are wearing clothes that cost more than our rent. Combined. We both sat down with bad posture, leaning closer instinctively, like the table itself was judging us. Aurora picked up the menu, flipping it open with interest. Okay, so she pointed at one section. These dishes and drinks are a la carte. We can order up to 30 euros with our offer. That's generous. Then another section. But everything else is buffet, which we have unlimited access to. That's dangerous information, Aurora. Aurora's eyes lit up mischievously. Oh, absolutely. I am making this worth it. I laugh. Worth every euro we didn't spend to be here. Exactly. Especially if they have the shrimp. She looked up at me, dead seriously. If there's shrimp, it's over. I'm dead serious, Mew. I am capable of eating their entire stock. You're one of those people? I didn't survive 23 years of existence to show restraint at a resort buffet. I'm not paying. I shook my head, smiling. I feel like this says a lot about you. It says I know what I like, and I like shrimp, and free stuff. We all do. Except the shrimp. Not everybody likes shrimp. The conversation drifted easily from there. From food we loved to food we absolutely hated, and eventually the universal disappointment of fancy-looking plates that somehow tasted like nothing. I found myself laughing more than I expected. Then we got cut off when a waiter appeared beside the table. Good evening. May I take your order? Aurora snapped the menu shut, suddenly composed. Yes. She glanced at me. What are you having, darling? I opened my menu again, heart still light and stomach rumbling. Gourmet? Excuse me? Oh, why this is even an option. We're doing gourmet. I mean, it's not every day that I can get high-quality food. Oh, a nice choice. She turned to the waiter with full confidence. I'll take 2 chocolate fondant, 1 tiramisu, 1 version mojito, a jasmine tea, and a dessert of the day. Interesting order, all noted. I'll be back quickly. Aurora had a stupid smile plastered on her face that was very hard not to laugh at. Are you speed-running diabetes or just skipping dinner? I have my priorities straight on where this 30 euros needs to go. All in the dessert? Yes. So you have a sweet tooth. Nicer way to say sugar addiction. Yes. This is my family's fault. My dad is a baker and my siblings loves to bake. Oh, you have a sibling. Well, not in a literal sense. Childhood friend who grew up with me and my dad because of family issues. He's like a brother to me. But this freaker is a baking genius. They made me who I am today, a sweet addict. I mean, if they both baked a lot, someone had to eat it. Exactly. I have a fast metabolism too. I can eat a bunch of sweets with no issues, but I always had to hide it from them. Wait, now it makes sense. Is that why you always eat in your room? You're hiding a secret stash of sweets? How could you connect the dots so fast? I'm a genius, that's why. A genius who doesn't know how to change the TV cables. Hey, that's not true. It's just the cables are your thing. When did we decide that? I don't remember, but I'm not sure we did at some point. Just like how we start talking by sticky notes instead of using our phone. Oh yeah, that's because I had to change my number and lost your contact for a while. What? You could have just asked me. It was at the beginning of the co-location, and I had a beef with you. You had? Aw man, I hate admitting it because it's so stupid. Do you remember my friend that came to help move in the furniture? Brown hair, very tall, wearing a leather jacket. Yeah, her. That was my ex. And she kept making remarks about you that led me to believe something happened between the two of you. What? I barely talked to her. I believe you, but back then I didn't know that she was such a messy person. I think she tried to make me fight for her love while also genuinely finding you hot. That really irritated me, and for the longest time I just hated your guts. Since I'm now single and more clear-minded, I realized she was probably lying then. That's why I apologized at the jacuzzi, by the way. I might have called you a bitch once or twice behind your back. I mean, it's okay. I'll be honest. I also cursed you once or twice. Really? I mean, I deserve it, but that's unexpected. Why is that? You're so nice. I have a hard time imagining you cursing at someone. I mean, those two facts can coexist. Right. I think we could consider ourselves friends now, despite the bad start. I would be really happy with that label. Oh gosh, what a terrible person I am right now. She seems so happy that we're friends, and here I am hoping that we could kiss her and call this a date. Saving me from internal turmoil, the waiter came back with our orders. Aurora's selection of dessert was taking up a comically large amount of space on the table. We ate in comfortable silence. Once Aurora was done with the first desserts, I noticed her scanning the area. She was probably searching for the buffet. I'll go get my actual dinner now. I need a break from chocolate. Do you want me to grab some plates? No worries, I'll go get it once I'm done with my own first. Aurora pushed her chair back, already energized. Guess what I'm getting? Shrimp? Hell yeah, shrimp! Of course you are. Grab me a cocktail. A shrimp cocktail. She shot me a grin over her shoulder before disappearing into the crowd. I was left alone at the table once again, the candle flickering gently between the empty seat and mine. I rested my chin in my hand, exhaling. I hadn't expected the day to feel like this. But to be honest, I hadn't expected anything so positive. When I took my car this morning, I was still under the impression Aurora hated me. I replayed it all in my head, the spa, the laughter, and the way the tension between us had softened so easily. This was good. It felt really good. And maybe that was exactly why I shouldn't try anything tonight. The thought settled quietly. Don't ruin it. I traced the rim of my glass with my finger. If I said something wrong, or if I misread anything, it could all snap back into awkwardness. I didn't want that. Not when tomorrow still existed. Not when we were roommates. Tonight is just tonight. We're roommates hanging out, nothing more. I leaned back slightly, letting my eyes wander around the restaurant. Couples murmured softly. Cutlery clinked. And then I saw the older woman from earlier with the same confident posture and knowing smile. Our eyes met, and she smiled again. I felt my lips twitch upwards despite myself. I didn't share that interaction with Aurora. It would be fun to tell. I glanced towards the buffet. Aurora was still gone. She's definitely building a plate like she's never eating again. I smiled and patiently waited for my friend to come back to the table. So many shrimp dishes. I can see that. Oh wait, while you were gone I remembered something. Huh? She sat down and organized her side of the table to make place for everything. When you went to drop our stuff off in the room, an older woman approached me in the lounge. She asked me to be her third, but I said I was busy. What? I was right to be fast, then. What? I was right to be fast, then. What do you mean? I leave for 5 minutes and someone tries to take you out? Wait, was it for a threesome? I suspect, yes. Ah, hell no. Oh, do I sense some jealousy there, Aurora? Mayhaps you're my date after all. But whoa, good for you. You think she would have accepted a sugar baby arrangement? Honestly, I think so, yes. Dang, you should have said yes then. Secure that bag. I'm not even close to being worth it. I mean, the woman only asked me to be her third. I don't know how far it would have gone. No one knows. But one thing's for sure, you're pulling left and right. Good for you. I mean, she's older, but, you know, I think they would have taken anybody at this point. Thanks, I'm pretty sure you could pull that off, too. Me, my terrible love life begs to differ. Well, at least you have a love life. You don't have one? Sorry, that sounded extra rude. It did. But to actually answer the question, I have a very inactive love life. I had a few crushes, but nothing ever got official. I'm the type who thinks romantic interactions would magically appear in my life like in a TV show, so I've been avoiding dating apps. I think avoiding dating apps could have saved a bit of my dignity and mental health, not gonna lie. You're taking a break from dating? I don't know. A part of me thinks it's not a good thing to get back into the field, but another part of me wants to experience love again. I think it's unfair, the people that I meet, because I get extremely invested really fast, and it often goes sour. But I can't help it. When I get those feelings, I lose all my sense of priority. Girl, same. You're the type of person who gets the "she's not the love of your life, she's just a girl" talk very often, I suppose. Yeah, I think it went downhill after my first breakup. My first girlfriend was a very close friend of mine. We dated for a while and then she dumped me by text because she came out as straight. We are on okay terms, but that's messed me up a lot. I felt very lonely back then. After that, I just tried again and again to be special to someone. I wanted to find someone who would love me as violently as I loved them. Gosh, that was a terrible trauma dump. Sorry. We're having a candlelight fancy dinner and I'm talking about my exes. It's okay. We were on the topic and it feels like you needed to vent. Also, I get where you're coming from. Since I never got into a relationship, I've always craved to be someone's first choice, you know? I think it's just deeply human to want to be loved. I know I could find love in many forms, like with friends or with family, but romantic love just feels so different. It makes you feel all special, and you want to become so honest with someone else. I find it a tad terrifying, too, if I can admit it. I would love to be in love, but I'm also so scared of losing it one day. Even if it fades, no love would have been wasted. It's scary and beautiful. Look at us being so philosophical. My poor shrimp could cry. I think they would cry because they're about to be eaten. A good argument, yes. Dinner passed in a blur after that. Before I realized it, the plates were empty. It was an impressive exploit, considering how much we had both. It was an impressive exploit, considering how much we both had on our plates. The candle had burned down and my body was reminding me that adding relaxation and food equals exhaustion. Aurora leaned back slightly, stretching in her chair. I don't know about you, but I'm officially done for today. Same. I think if I move too fast, I'll fall asleep standing. I'll be there to catch you, no worries. And we would both be falling. Better together than humiliating yourself alone. Right. Aurora laughed softly as we headed out of the restaurant together. The hallway was quieter now. As we walked side by side towards the elevators, I felt it again. A feeling of comfort and ease. I wouldn't trade it for anything else. It was too nice. The door clicked shut between us once we finally entered our room. I turned the switch on. Warm, dim lighting spilled from a lamp near the window, casting long shadows over the carpet. I took a few steps in and immediately noticed it. The bags from this morning, still sitting exactly where Aurora had apparently yeeted them, sprawled messily near the entrance like abandoned evidence. I muttered, nudging one of the bags with my foot. Thank God the hotel took care of the suitcases. Oh, so there's just 2 bags. There's suitcases and luggage, I guess. I see. Aurora winced, rubbing the back of her neck. Yeah, sorry about that. I really just threw everything in and ran out. I shook my head in fake disappointment as we moved further into the room. The space itself was cozy, tasteful in what carefully curated hotel way. Then we saw it. The bed. The only bed. It was the centerpiece of the room, imposing the presence as the furniture of the room. I stopped walking. There was a brief, heavy silence as the realization settled in. Oh. Aurora froze beside me, staring at it, then blinked once, twice, too many times before letting out a short, awkward laugh. I guess they really committed to the couple package thing. I mean, it is a room for couples. My brain scrambled, thoughts tripping over each other as heat crept up my neck like crazy. I glanced anywhere but the bed. At the window, the nightstand, the framed artwork, anything to avoid acknowledging how suddenly aware I was of her presence in the room. Aurora shifted her weight, arms crossing loosely, her expression unreadable for a moment. I mean, I don't mind sharing it as long as you don't kick me in my sleep. I don't assume they have another bed to spare. Well, if it's good with you, then I don't mind sharing too. I'm gonna go change in the bathroom. Oh, okay. I closed the door a bit too violently before realizing I had to take my suitcase. Taking what's mine into the close bathroom, I allowed myself to shrink on the ground. This was something I should have expected, but now that I was facing it, I needed to just tank it. Yes, Mew. You're just sharing a bed with a hot girl you have a crush on. It's nothing. Gosh darn it all. It was a lot for me. I am panicking. Oh goodness, I'm panicking. I don't think I'll be able to sleep. I'm gonna have to do the pillow technique. Wait, what if she takes it personally and then gets upset that I put a pillow between us? No one in their right mind would get upset at that. Come on, Mew, come on! You guys shared the jacuzzi this morning and you survived that. One night of sleep is manageable. The bed is big. Maybe there's a chance we'll have our own space easily. Yes, let's imagine that. Nothing romantic going on here. I'm confident about that. Who am I kidding? It's my own internal monologue. I don't have to convince myself. Let's just change into pajamas before I start being suspiciously long. Preparing myself for the night, I changed clothes and brushed my teeth. I could hear the sound of videos playing in the main room. Aurora was probably scrolling on her phone. I found it cute to imagine her just chilling there. Cleaned up and ready to go to bed, I left the bathroom. You can go now. Thanks. It was now my turn to scroll on my phone while waiting. It was already late, and the exhaustion of the day was starting to make my body feel heavy. I'm unsure if I could actually go back for round 2 tomorrow, but another massage sure seemed nice. Aurora came out of the bathroom quicker than I did. Since you're already on the left, I'll take the right side of the bed. Sure. I pulled back the sheets and actually rested in the sheets, ready to fall under the warm embrace of the blanket. The mattress was wide, but to my distress, not wide enough to ignore the fact that we were sharing it. I lay stiffly on my back, staring at the ceiling, incapable of ignoring every small movement beside me. Aurora shifted slightly, the fabric of the sheets rustling. What time should we wake up tomorrow? I swallowed, forcing my voice to sound normal. Before breakfast closes, so before 10. A brief pause, then a faint sound of her phone being handled. Okay, I'll set an alarm for 9:30 then. Thanks. She hummed softly in response, and a second later the lamp clicked off. Darkness settled in. I suddenly had no idea how I was supposed to exist in my own body. Staring at the ceiling felt wrong. Turning towards her also felt wrong. Turning away felt like a statement I didn't mean to make. Dear girl, just relax. I didn't mean to make the more I Turning away felt like a statement I didn't mean to make, and the more I overthought it, the more I lost options of what to do. I remained frozen, listening to my own breathing and how it sometimes synced with the one next to mine. Minutes passed by, but they felt like hours. Time had stopped making sense. Aurora moved beside me, adjusting the pillow, turning onto her side. The mattress shifted under her weight. I held my breath without meaning to, afraid that even breathing too loud would be noticeable. Then I felt it. Her hand. It brushed against mine softly, making my heart jump straight into my throat. For a split second, I thought she'd pull away, but she didn't. Instead, her fingers settled fully over the back of my hand, warm and soft. My pulse thundered. I was close to a heart attack. I didn't move, didn't dare. I let my hand stay exactly where it was, the contact grounding and terrifying all at once. Mew? Yes. Can I come closer? Yeah, sure. I shifted onto my side, turning towards her, moving a bit of the sheets out of the view. The movement brought us closer without quite touching everywhere, just enough for me to feel her warmth and see the faint outline of her face in the low light coming from the window. Her hand was still holding mine. I hadn't realized how tightly I was gripping back until I noticed it. Up close, everything felt amplified. The way she was looking at me in that instant made my stomach flip like loops in a roller coaster. She could have asked anything in that moment. I would have agreed to it. I was at a loss for words, but at the same time, feeling so many things. She was beautiful. I loved how her hair framed her face, how cute her eyebrows were, and how mesmerizing her eyes were to look at. Oh, how I could lose myself right now. And I wouldn't mind. Oh, I'm gonna lose myself in the music the moment. 2 references to the Eminem in this game. I wanted to lose myself in the music the moment. My thoughts blurred together, replaced by a single overwhelming want. I really wanted to kiss her. The realization made my breath hitch. I didn't move, didn't dare. I was afraid that any sudden motion would break whatever fragile electric thing had settled between us. Her thumb brushed lightly against my knuckles. Then she leaned in and kissed me. There was no mistaking it. As if she heard my thoughts, Aurora closed the distance between us in bed and moved to rest her other free hand under my cheek. My breath caught as her forehead brushed mine, noses barely touching. For a split second, neither of us moved. Then her lips met mine. My thoughts shattered on impact. I felt everything that was happening all at once. The warmth of her mouth, the faint weight of a blanket, our legs touching, and the way her hand tightened around mine, as if she needed the reassurance that this was really happening. I kissed her back without thinking, instinct taking over where doubt used to sit. I could still taste a bit of her toothpaste, realizing she would probably taste mine. My chest felt too full, my head light, my whole body leaning into hers like it had been waiting for permission all day. I could feel her breathing change, closer now, uneven. Her thumb brushed against my hand again, grounding me. I wanted to forget about tomorrow, about going back home and the resort, about everything else. And then she pulled away, abruptly. She inhaled sharply, sitting back just enough to put space between us. Her grip loosened as if she suddenly realized what she was holding. In the obscurity, I could see her eyes wide, unfocused, panic flickering across her face. My heart sank. She stopped herself, shaking her head before turning the lights back on. I'm sorry. She pressed her hand in her face, turning slightly away from me like she needed distance to breathe. I can't. I didn't think. I shouldn't have done it. I'm so sorry. It was wrong of me, but I wanted it to. That's exactly why I shouldn't have done that. This is awful. I'm being awful to you. I stayed still, afraid that any movements would make things worse. My hand still warm where hers had just been seconds ago. I don't understand. What's wrong? Please tell me. You like me. I was 1 second close to rolling on top of you. Yes, I thought it would make it obvious. What? Aurora, let's calm down and tell me what's going on. She doesn't like me back. She fully sat down, crossing her legs on the bed, trying to calm her breathing. I waited patiently for her to compose herself, but not wanting to rush her despite my clear anxiety. Okay, I'm good. You're sure? Yeah. I'm so sorry for doing that. I'm so incredibly sorry. I feel like the worst person on earth right now. I'm unsure if I really like you or if it's just because we're here. It's wrong. You've been so kind to me, and I'm treating you like a rebound, jumping on you because I'm starved for love. This is wrong. I don't want to use you. I know how awful it is to be used, and I don't want to do that. Okay, let me process it. You don't like me? I'm unsure. Okay. I didn't mean that I dislike you, just that I'm unsure of what I'm feeling right now, and I feel awful about it. First off, you're not a bad person. A bad person wouldn't be feeling all that you're feeling right now. You don't want to hurt me, and it's very noble of you. Now, I do like you. Or at least I have a very strong crush right now. I don't think the influence of this place changes how I feel about you. I'll still feel the same tomorrow, or next week unless I move on. I've got this feeling that things were going well between us. It was. I was having a really good time with you, and I kept thinking that I was overthinking about how much of a date I could call our day. We can say it was a strange sort of first date, maybe? Look, I really like you, and despite how confusing you are right now, I can't help but feel you're sharing similar feeling. Okay, I can choose two options, and I want to make something out of those feelings. If you want, we can take things slowly. I mean, we're not in a rush. Like I said, I'll still like you, hopefully for a while. You deserve better. I think you can be that better. I see that you're kind of struggling, but deep down you did this for me. I'm appreciative of that. You brought me flowers, you apologized for your wrongs, and you're putting efforts in not hurting me. Mew, that's the bare minimum, please. It's a good start for me. I really like you, Aurora. I didn't like you at the beginning of this game, but I like you now. I want to try and make it work, but only if you want to. I would really like to try. I find you attractive, but I mainly think you're such a beautiful person. I might be a bit selfish. I'm sorry for being so confused. You would think that I have experienced enough relationships not to mess up like I am doing right now. I don't think you're messing things up, you're just figuring things out. You're a saint. Thank you for liking me, even if I'm not the best. I don't know what you see in me. I'm gonna start banning self-deprecating sentences, Aurora. Okay, geez, I'll stop. Thank you, Mew. It's normal. Is it okay if I ask for a hug? My heart is kinda going crazy right now. Oh, yeah, obviously. She opened her arms, and I nested myself against her, hugging her tightly as we both laid down back on the bed. We stayed like that for a while, in comfortable silence. This is the most awkward love confession I have ever made, by the way. I'll take that title with pride. It makes me not like your other dates. Oh, you're definitely not like my other dates. Do you think we can pretend that I didn't make a move on you 5 minutes ago? I think I would like to have a better first kiss. Depends. I think it makes up for a good I think it makes up for a good antidote to remember. Good? I'm dying of embarrassment here. Then find a better moment to redo our kiss, and then I'll maybe consider forgetting your poor first attempt. Aw, come on. At least it won't be that hard. This place has tons of pretty areas we could have our second kiss at. First kiss in the comfortable chair at the lounge. I was going more towards a romantic kiss illuminated by a fancy candles of the diner. Are we even allowed to dine there again? We do have our breakfast there again. Oh yeah, breakfast. We should start sleeping already if we don't want to wake up too late. You're right. I don't think I can fall asleep if we cuddle. But can I still hold your hand tonight? Sure. Thank you. Good night, Aurora. Good night, Mew. Weirdly enough, we managed to fall asleep pretty fast after our talk. In the morning, things were a bit awkward, but we quickly eased the tension through the day. I got kissed a lot that day. Sunday's activities were even more fun now that we were actually doing them as a couple. It was really hard to leave the resort in the morning. Coming back to our apartment, I was anxious that things would fall apart, but nothing of the sort happened. Now more sure of herself, Aurora became way more affectionate around me, and new habits appeared in our life. We started doing more things together, and the apartment has never been more full of life. Dates after dates. We became inseparable. The earth continued to spin, and Aurora and I were still very in love. Again? Aurora, come on! You cannot stop me from buying more of them. I know, but I'm starting to worry about how much you're spending on flowers for me. A reasonable amount considering you're amazing and you deserve to be showered with love every time you get home. I am receiving enough love as it is. Please listen to your wallet's cries. You want to talk about wallet? How much did you spend on sushi recently? You had long, difficult work hours. You deserve some comfort food. Gosh, you're adorable. That's why I'm buying you so many flowers. Look at us, fighting because we're so in love. I know for sure the neighbors hate hearing us bicker over romantic stuff. He definitely does. Now come here, I gotta go. I happily lean in to give her a tender kiss. I'll be back in a maximum of 3 hours. Please wait for me so we can watch the last episodes together, alright? I promise I'll wait. Mwah. Now go and you'll be late. I love you. I love you more. Bye bye, Mew. See you around. Later. Ending 3. And they were roommates. Alright, time to be ungraceful. Hammer the door. Geez, stop! You're gonna break it! I waited a minute. Aurora came to pick the cables. You're the one fixing it. There was a movement inside. Footsteps dragged ones. I wish there was a skip option. I won something. But in the end, it was her own fault. Her post-it notes are really messy. I'm not even sure where that one possibly was. I turned back into the stove to keep myself busy with cooking my dinner. Stirring my dish with a bit more force than necessary, the microwave made an awkward melody between us. Don't ask her. Yeah, no, it's not a good plan. I barely know her. Since neither of us were added to the conversation, Aurora waved at me before disappearing into her room. I ate my dinner watching YouTube and went with my night. In the end, I decided to not take the prize and tried to get a refund on it. Sadly, I couldn't pull anything out of it, but it made up for a very funny interaction to share around. And the world kept spinning. Ending 1. No BITCHESs. Jeez! That's a little harsh, I think. Let's go ahead and load it, because I feel like... But I agree with you, it doesn't feel right. Whatever is going on right now, we should try to let it pass. I do not mind being in your life as your friend. I'll just need a moment to get over what I'm feeling romantically right now. But I'm sure it can pass. And I mean it by the way. If things change later, it will change, but right now I want to enjoy our friendship if it's the most comfortable option for you. You really are too kind. I should have talked to you earlier. You're a great friend. Friend who you just kissed. Friend who you just kissed, but who... This sentence needs to... Friend who you just kissed, but is taking the friend zone well. Oh, come on. I feel bad about it. This. Too soon? Yeah. But it's okay. I think joking about it might help. Thank you, Mew. I don't know if I can ask, but could I get a hug? Sure, you can even talk about your emotional turmoil. Stop! That's sappy. That's just being emotionally open and honest with yourself. I don't want to do that. Laughing awkwardly, Aurora leaned forward towards me for a hug. I'll admit, I was feeling a bit conflicted, but I was happy regardless. If things were to go this way, then it's okay. We spent the night talking about a bunch of things, some more personal than others. By the time morning came, we were still very tired and decided to genuinely take this day slow. Sunday's activities felt very different, and despite sometimes hoping for more, I was content with how our weekend ended. Coming back to our apartment, we fell into newer habits. Aurora and I started hanging out more, and I no longer dreaded spending time inside. The earth continued to spin, and Aurora and I became really close friends. Okay, so you did buy the fish today? Yes, and I start cooking it, so I'll leave you half of it in the fridge. You rock. I'll be back late, but I'll stop to get us some chips, alright? Do not watch another episode without me. I'm beating you up with the remote if you do. Boo! Abusive roommate! Abusive roommate alert! Stop! The neighbors are gonna think I really mistreat you. You do, and you make my life miserable. That's mistreatment. Then find another roommate. Maybe I will. Okay, I won't. The rent is good, and you make really good fried sardines. But only for that. I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that because I genuinely have to go right now. Bye, bestie. Bye-bye. Ending 2. Friendship is magic. Alright, that's the 3 endings. I mean, there's some other dialogue options we could look at, I guess. Like, if we go back to... here, I think. Something light. What did I order? Let's go with something light. I need space for the buffet, obviously. Ooh, a nice choice. She turned to the waiter with full confidence. I'll take everything that I already ordered. I don't really think I need to read too much into that one. Oh, wait. Nope, I already did that. Oh, so you think you're good looking? I mean, you look first. But without throwing myself flowers, I would say I'm not bad. You're too modest. Just say you're hot. Okay, I'm hot. But so are you. Stop. You're making me blush. Not capable of continuing, we both start laughing. Finally calming our laugh, I nudged her, trying to move the topic completely. So how was your massage? Okay, I think that's about it. Oh, what's the other one? Is this? I don't take it personally. It sounds like you had a wild ride with this girl. You never directly acted mean to me, so we're cool. You're so kind. I should have befriended you earlier. You still can. I think we could consider ourselves friends now, despite the bad start. I would be really happy with that label. Oh gosh, what a terrible person I am right now to befriend somebody. Oh yeah, because I hope I have ulterior motives, but so does she. Alright, let's go back to the main menu because I think that's everything and we're done. That is another romance story, and let me know what you think in the comments below. Because if I were to have a romance like that, I would not mind. What do you guys think? Let me know. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. And goodbye.